Missing someone.
I was thinking of doing like a darker, like purple, at the top, and then going into like not a super light purple, but like lighter. I don't really know.
And it's been a while. How long has it been since we've done your roots?
November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you like about this color?
I'm trying not to make it as loud as normal, just while I get used to things that.
And by loud, she means like rainbow.
Like rainbows. Rainbows. Are what yeah. No, I'll be back to rainbow for my wedding in like a year or two. So, for now,
this is like tamed down for you to do purple.
To do a like single color. I mean, this one was all blue too, which was already a step down for me. So.
Yeah, we always do more than one color, but this one just seems like it's like a pinky purple.
More.
It'll help cancel the green out.
Yeah, and more like darker so that it's not as like.
Do you like the blend that we did last time?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the same for that.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell in the consultation, we are going to be transforming her into a purple tone. And before we do that, I am going to lighten up her roots because they are pretty grown out. She's been coming to me for a few years now, but the reason why she let her roots grow out so long is because she actually moved away, so I'm not like super close and convenient for her to come in all the time. So she really just sees me whenever she's in town, and this just happened to be a 6-month touch-up, which with the way that I foil her hair is really not a problem. So really quick, I want to talk about this client's texture. She has really thick, coarse hair, and it doesn't have quite a bit of a wave pattern. It's more just like poofy, and has quite a bit of frizz and texture to it. And so she tries not to put like too much heat on it, and she tries to braid it a lot. But I remember when we first started doing her hair, we would do like a traditional full highlight on her where I would detail her hairline and the nape of the neck behind in this back section here. And we started to realize that because of her hair texture, it would always get kind of tangled behind her neck, and it just was never able to really grow because those pieces were lightened. And so we thought of a game plan to just switch up her placement and just kind of skip the nape of her neck. So I'm not doing technically a full to the nape of her neck. I kind of started her foils right around where her ears are, leaving out that whole section right at the nape because that's where her hair gets tangled the most. And we found that her hair has been able to grow and get thicker from that area because out of all the places in her hair, that's where she found that she had the most breakage when we would highlight it before. And I have tried highlighting her a little bit, like not letting those foils get lighter than the rest, but it's still, I think just because we would lighten it with bleach, would still just feel drier. And so we just ultimately decided to not highlight those areas at all. So we mostly just touch up the top, starting from her ear in the back, and I'm going in with my signature placement for this. Of course, I am using the Danger Jones lightener, and I'm just going to be using 20 volume for her hair. With this technique, if you are new, I will primarily slice my client's hair, do the center of the back of the head, and just do one section all the way towards the front. I used to split the back into two, but I find that just taking it all in one section and then connecting the front with the sides and back that way just saves a whole lot of time versus splitting that back section into two. And the reason why I'm utilizing slices for her is because she wants to feel as blonde as possible. So I'm really making sure that I'm packing in these foils close together, leaving very little negative space in between, so that she can feel like a pretty solid tone, almost similar to like a bleach-in tone. But one of the reasons why we are foiling her versus doing an actual bleach-in tone is because, one, we want something that's going to be low maintenance on her, and two, she wants something that's just going to grow out really soft when her roots grow in. She likes the effect that her roots are a little bit darker and that the mids and ends get a little bit lighter. So that's why we have ultimately decided that this would be the best type of color placement for her and what her lifestyle entails. And as I'm going through her foils, because I do slices, it makes my job so much easier to kind of see what needs to be done. So I'm actively trying to search for the pieces that have the longest root, because I want to make sure and try to get her ends nice and solid and light. And you can see I'm pretty much just doing slices back to back around her hairline, because I do want those pieces to feel pretty solid. And then I'm going to be connecting the front with that back center section by doing a foil above the ear, and then just continuing my slicing pattern up the sides here up until I reach the foils in the middle of the center of her head. So since this client has naturally coarser hair and it is pretty much a level 2, I would say has pretty stubborn hair. And so when I'm doing these slices, I want to make sure that my slices are extremely see-through. I don't want to take a slice that is too thick, because that might create an uneven lift, especially on her hair texture. So it's really crucial and important when you're working with darker hair to make sure that your sections are a little bit thinner versus working on hair that might be like a level 7 and above. So for her lift, I typically like to lift this particular client to at least like a level 9, I would say, so that her colors can fade out nice and pastel-y. It doesn't fade out too warm. I find that if I were to lift her any lower than that, she might fade out a little too warm. So I really do like her to be on the lighter side, and her hair can take it. I never find that I have an issue with it, and I feel like her hair is able to get that light. It just takes a bit of time, and of course just using 20 volume for the entire lift. So I'm going to be going in with the Danger Jones semi-permanent colors, and she wanted a darker root, so I mixed up a first bowl of like a darker purple tone, and then once I pretty much root the whole thing, then I kind of create the lighter purple tone by adding in some clear with the colors that I had originally mixed for the root color. And I just find that this just kind of makes it a lot easier. We wanted to do more of like a pinky purple to kind of help cancel out a lot of that green that's in her hair. Like we said before, previous to this color, we did like a blue tone, and blue just fades out really green on most people, and so her hair was just stained green. Right here is actually a really good clip. You can see that we don't highlight that bottom portion right around the nape of her neck. It's pretty much all grown out and dark. So I'm just kind of painting wherever I did the highlights and where she has her previous highlights. We can see that it's pretty long back there, that those pieces used to be a lot shorter because I feel like her hair just really couldn't handle the highlights back there because of the texture of her hair and how tangly it would get. And again, it's really just because she has a lot of texture to it and frizz that the back would get so tangled that it would start breaking because it was a little bit on the drier side due to having highlights done. And so for the purples that I'm using from the Danger Jones line, I mixed up a good amount of the Masquerade tone, and I added in some Libertine and made it a little bit of a warmer tone with some Hustler, and then pretty much just diluted that same formulation on the mids and ends. After the color was done, I smoothed out and blow dried her hair. This is just with a blow dryer and boar bristle. I used one of the Ibiza boar bristles to kind of get rid of the frizz and just kind of get her hair really straight.
Feels so good.
Alrighty guys, so here is the final look. Her roots are nicely touched up. This is going to grow out really soft, and honestly her hair feels so healthy. She's been taking really good care of it at home, using good shampoo and conditioner, and constantly making sure that her ends are moisturized. And she's been putting a lot less heat on it and braiding it more often to kind of reduce the frizz, but also help with the tangles while she is sleeping. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.